Greetings, this is the Timeshare Traveler. Today is episode 186. What I like about Marriott ABOUND. So the overview is they've combined locations between the purchase of Vistana and the original Marriott Vacation Club, now called Abound. And I have flexibility because I have a little bit of Vistana and a little bit of Marriott, so I have some flexibility, and I'll describe that. So that's one of the benefits. If you happen to have the Vistana, you have some flexibility. The one thing I would say about the Marriott, one of the great things is this consistently high quality in all the resorts. Can't say everything is perfect, but consistently pretty high. And then I'll go through a little bit on the elite perks, and then the hotels, the Marriott hotels, exchanges, etc. I'll go into that. Before I do that, though, let me tell you a little bit about my channel, and then I'll be right back to go into all the detail.
Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm the Timeshare Traveler. Welcome to my channel. The purpose of my channel is to educate those who love traveling in timeshares. I've been an owner for 15 plus years at timeshare ownership. I have elite ownership with Marriott, Hilton, and Worldmark. I have published over 100 timeshare video reviews, and I've published over 95 timeshare tips. I can be found on Facebook at Timeshare Trav, at Twitter, Timeshare Trav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com.
Well, I'm back now, so let me talk about the combined locations. So with the merger between Vistana and Marriott, we have a combination of the Sheraton, Westin, and Marriott properties. And there was Hyatt was part of the Vistana, but it's not included. But there are some conversations. I guess I always remain hopeful. The difficulty is that often Hyatt hotels are close to that, and having a Marriott Vacation Club sign right next to a Hyatt hotel is a bit of a sticking point, as I understand it. So there's also, I'd say, certain areas are greatly increased, so the likelihood that you can go on vacation in, if you're choosing Maui, Orlando, Palm Springs, and Phoenix, you've just increased a lot of capability with the additional merger. So there's some overlap in places, but that at least that gives you more chances. The other thing is there's an increased presence of internationally just because they combined both locations. So that's what I like about that, about the combined locations. Let me go on to the next stuff. Okay, let me talk about the flexibility to use Vistana or Abound. So because I have Vistana, I have a choice of keeping it in the Vistana or moving it over to Abound, and I have to do that every year. So for the first year I moved it over, and now I'm keeping it. And it's, again, it's great for what historically was dual ownership. And so depending on the booking rules, each system has advantages. So peak periods are higher in Marriott, so that means it's better off if you have a peak period reservation you want to do, you're better off to actually keep it in Vistana because Marriott has more tiers and premiums with high peak periods, and Vistana basically had a flat across the board, wasn't seasonally adjusted. So off-peak periods, however, are lower in Marriott. So the flip side is true, that when it's off-peak, you can take advantage of it. So if you can plan ahead, and it's every year, so it's no more difficulty. So you can choose how to stretch your points the furthest just by playing this little game here. And again, I've combined one year and kept the second year, mostly because of my choices of where I'm going to go. My next topic is consistent high quality. That's the thing about that brand. Marriott charges premium rates. However, costs are well below renting equivalent space if you were to try to book that same room. Amenities are world class. I'll show you just a couple examples of the studio 1-bedroom and the 2-bedroom. So in the peak season, and these are best estimates for what I could get on points because it varies by location what the points are, so it's not an exact science. The studio high season is $240 a night when you book it for a week, mid-season $164, and low season $123. At least on the western side, all the studios do have stovetops. Not totally true on some of the Marriott, but definitely on the western side, and the Sheraton as well, I believe. In the 1-bedrooms, the high season is $315, mid-season $252, and low season is $164. So not a significant bump up from the studio to the 1-bedroom. 2-bedroom, however, that's quite a big jump, and that's usually where you get full amenities. Almost all, I can't think of any that don't have kitchens, but you have 2 bedrooms, 505 for high season, mid season, not that much different, 413, but then the low season is 252. And again, there are also specials and various other things, but just to give you a sense, that's kind of the pricing. And again, if you were to try to rent that out of the same quality Marriott hotel then or Marriott Vacation Club, because you can sometimes rent them through the website, it would be quite a bit below the cost you can actually rent stuff at. Okay, Elite Perks, it's my favorite here, and it's really why I stopped at the level I'm at. I'm just a select member, and it's I get platinum at hotels, which that means it's free breakfast and dinner at the executive lounge. So many of the executive lounges at the Marriotts have an owner or an executive lounge, and you get free access to that, and that's usually free breakfast in the morning. They have the afternoon hors d'oeuvres, and sometimes it's a full meal. And eventually that means platinum for life, even if you sell your timeshares, because after 10 years, particularly if you're like me, I've done 600 night stays over my gray hair. I've been doing it a while. So I will be eventually, next year actually, I will be platinum for life. Another thing is a 13-month booking window at Select, which is where I am, and above for 7+ nights. A 13-month booking window for 1 or more nights if you're at the executive level, which is the next one up from me and above, and then a 25% discount for stays available 30 days out at executive level. It gets a little bit better with the levels above that, but that's fundamentally the perks that I think matter as far as why you would want to upgrade. Lastly, let's talk about the hotels, exchanges, and so forth. Okay, so first of all, there's the ability to use Interval International book. I call them last minute specials, but really it's getaways. And it's for under $400. Just using my term consistently, even if the name is actually different. You book within like 45 days of travel. No points needed, just the exchange fee. And the other thing is there's thousands of hotels with Marriott Bonvoy, so you have status with that. You can even transfer your points into Marriott Bonvoy, and again, you have the credit cards in addition to maximize point creation. They now have home rentals via Bonvoy and Marriott Vacation Club at executive level and up. You also have the ability. They also have travel services, cruises, etc. But much like the rest of the timeshare industry has those as options as well. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe.